Hey guys, this is Travis Ligleiter, Extension Weed Scientist at the University of Kentucky. Today we're looking at trial 20-11. It is comparing pre-emergence herbicides for water hemp control, focusing in on the Authority products. So with this trial, we are at the Caldwell County research site, which is our water hemp research site, located approximately 5 miles from the UK Rec in Princeton, Kentucky. So this trial was planted on June 12th. Today is July 15th. All of these treatments were applied the same day as planting. So again, 33 days or 5 weeks out from planting. Here's your untreated check. There is some variability in the water hemp pressure at this site, but that's why we replicate things out. But you can see that the water hemp pressure is here. In the untreated check, most of the water hemp is at least 6 inches in height, if not 8 to 12 inches in height. To really put effective post-emergence application on here, the post-emergence application really needed, or would have needed to have gone on approximately 2 weeks ago to be effective to get onto that 2 to 4 inch water hemp. Okay, so that's your untreated. To get into the treatments here, here's Authority Elite. Authority Elite is sulfentrazone and dual 2 magnum or S-metolachlor. So you're getting a group 14 in the sulfentrazone, you're getting a group 15 in that S-metolachlor, and that's what we like to see. That's what we want to see, is having 2 effective sites of action in there. And you can see we focused in on one water hemp plant there. It's about the only one you can find in this plot. Again, 5 weeks out. That's what we expect to see from these treatments, where we're getting 2 effective sites of action on the ground at planting. We expect those to last us 5 to 6 weeks, and this one's certainly still getting us there. We're at 5 weeks and just now starting to see some emergence on it. Okay, here's Authority Supreme. Authority Supreme is sulfentrazone, again a group 14, and pyroxasulfone or Residual. It's a group 15. You can see 6.4 fluid ounces there. And again, having 2 sites of action, again, this plot's going to look really clean. You can find 1 or 2 water hemp plants that have just emerged this week. So again, we're 5 weeks out, and that's what we expect from this. And throughout this trial, if you rep it out, you're looking at 97% plus control on this trial 5 weeks out, and that's what we'd expect from a product that's giving us 2 effective sites of action. Okay, so here's Authority Edge. Now, Authority Edge is a new product from FMC, and what this is it is sulfentrazone and pyroxasulfone. So same actives as Authority Supreme that we just looked at, but the difference between these 2 products, if you compare Authority Edge and Authority Supreme, Authority Edge, as far as the ratio goes, has more sulfentrazone than Authority Supreme and less pyroxasulfone than Authority Supreme. Okay, the reasoning behind this is it gives you more flexibility with that post-emergence application when you come back with that post-application, and allows you to put on another layer of residual and with a pyroxasulfone without exceeding that season maximum for pyroxasulfone. That's the whole idea behind this. So being an FMC product, if you're thinking a pure FMC program, they want you to put on 7 fluid ounces of Authority Edge and come back with 3 fluid ounces of Anthem Maxx, and that puts you right at the maximum pyroxasulfone on that field. Okay, so that's the reasoning behind the differentiation between Authority Edge and Authority Supreme. Still getting the same 2 effective sites of action, the bottom line here, as far as this trial is concerned, just looking at a pre-only program here, 5 weeks out from that pre, still looking really good. You can find 1 or 2 little water hemp plants that have just emerged in here. It's giving us at least 5 weeks of residual, and more than likely is going to give us about 6, which we'd expect out of a product that is giving us 2 effective sites of action. Okay, so here's Authority Edge again, and this is at 9 fluid ounces, so a little bit higher rate. That does limit you on your post-application. If you're wanting to come back with a layover of pyroxasulfone, it does give you some limitations with going with the higher rate. But as we go through here, again, you can see you can find 1 water hemp plant there, but that's about all you're going to find in this trial or in this plot. Again, 5 weeks out, this product's still holding on very well for us, which we would expect when we're getting multiple sites of action on the ground. Now the next plot, Authority Edge, and they added in, this is at the 7 fluid ounce rate, and they added in metribuzin. So you're getting a third effective site of action on this treatment, and is one of the better looking treatments in this trial, because you do have 3 effective sites of action, and anytime we get more effective sites of action out there, we just get an overall better program. And for resistance management, this is what we're looking for. More sites of action on the ground, the better. And again, in this one, you're pretty hard pressed to find anything breaking in here or find any water hemp plants. This is by far one of the better looking treatments we have out here, because you have those 3 effective sites of action. So we'll move back to the second tier of replication number 1 here in this trial, and we're going to start looking at competitor products as well, some single active ingredient products, just compare those to the 2 and 3 effective active products. So first we'll start with the competitor here. Here's Boundary, 24 fluid ounces, and I mentioned this rate because that to me is very important. Boundary at 24 fluid ounces is just not high enough of a rate. It's not giving us enough product. You do have 2 effective sites of action. You have S-metolachlor and metribuzin, but really we need this to be at 2 to 3 pints per acre to be effective. I realize most farmers in Kentucky are doing 24 fluid ounces simply because of the price point of Boundary, but if we can get it up to 2 pints per acre, that makes it a fair comparison to some of the other products we're seeing here. And you can see that here at 24 fluid ounces. This started to break last week, really early on in the week. This really gave us about 3 weeks of residual, and that's about it before it started to break. And again, even though you have 2 effective sites of action there, having a little bit lower rate or lower than recommended rate, it's going to break earlier than if we would put this on at 2 pints per acre or even 3 pints per acre. That is an expensive treatment, but just showing you rate does matter on these residuals. Now, starting to look at some just group 15s by themselves. Here's Anthem Maxx, 4 fluid ounces. It does have 2 active ingredients. You have the Residual in there, the pyroxasulfone. You also have Cadet. But really, in all essence, we consider this just to be a residual treatment when you're talking about purely a residual control or a pyroxasulfone treatment. And you can see there's a few plants here that started to break in the last week. And a few more than we saw in those treatments where we had 2 effective sites of action, those Authority brands. And so this is just breaking a little bit earlier. Still gave us a solid 3 to 4 weeks, so really probably 4 weeks of residual here with this an essential single active or group 15 by itself. You do have the Cadet in there, which helps a little bit, but not much on the water hemp. So that's what we expect if you're doing a single active versus a double effective active out there. So here's Warrant, group 15 by itself, again, just 1 active ingredient, 1 site of action, down pre, and again you can see here where it started to break on us last week. Again, it still gave us 4 weeks of residual, which is great, but just doesn't hold up quite as well. Some of those products we looked at in the first tier where we got where we're still getting residual activity out of them at 5 weeks after application. Okay, continuing down the line here, here's Outlook. Again, group 15 by itself. So just comparing these group 15s. And again, you can see this one started breaking really last week. You see a couple of tea weeds or prickly citus in there as well. But you can see the water hemp in there started to break last week. Still better than the untreated check, still better than nothing at all. But again, gave us about 4 weeks of residual, and that's what we'd expect out of a product that we're putting down with only 1 effective site of action in it. And then lastly, continuing this trend, here's Dual 2 Magnum. Okay, S-metolachlor, group 15 by itself, similar to the last 3 treatments where we're getting just a group 15 by itself. And it's the same story. You can see the water hemp there that is started to break, probably started to break a little bit last week was the first week we started to see these breaks here. So it gave us 4 weeks of residual, still better than nothing. But not holding up quite as well where we put that in there with the group 14, one of the or with sulfentrazone. So if you're comparing that, again, it's better to have multiple effective sites of action than just a single site of action. Any pre is better than nothing, but again, this is why we really hound on having multiple effective sites of action on the ground, at least 2, if not 3, because we do get a couple more weeks out of control out of those, and plus for long-term resistance management, more effective sites of action on the ground, the better. This is trial 20-11, evaluating pre-emergence herbicides on water hemp control and soybean.